The rain had been falling all morning, turning the sidewalks into mirrors and the air into something heavy and cold. Daniel sat on the edge of his bed, staring at his shoes like they were the heaviest things in the world. Life had been throwing punches at him one after another, losing his job, his bills piling up, his friends drifting away, and the quiet loneliness that gnawed at him every night. He whispered to himself, "Why does life feel so unfair? What did I do to deserve all of this?" That question, the one many people ask in silence, weighed on him like a stone. He forced himself to step outside, hoping maybe the air would clear his mind. The streets were crowded with umbrellas, people rushing, lives moving forward while he felt stuck in place. As he walked aimlessly, he passed a small park where a little girl sat on a bench, holding a paper bag in her lap. She was maybe 10 years old, her hair damp from the rain, her shoes worn out. She looked at Daniel and smiled, though there was something fragile about it. "Mister, do you want a sandwich?" she asked, holding out the bag. Daniel blinked, surprised. No, you should keep it." "That's yours." But she insisted, pressing it into his hands. "I have another one. My mom says when you have more than you need, you share." Her voice was so gentle, so matter-of-fact, that he had no choice but to accept. He sat down beside her, opening the bag to find a simple peanut butter sandwich. Somehow it felt heavier than any gourmet meal. He asked, "Where's your mom?" The girl's smile faltered just slightly. "She's at work. She works 2 jobs. Sometimes I sit here until she finishes. It's not so bad. I like watching the rain." Her innocence, her quiet strength, hit Daniel harder than any storm. Here was a child who had so little, and yet she still gave without hesitation. He realized in that moment that maybe life wasn't about what was taken from us, but what we chose to give despite it all. They ate together in silence, the sandwich filling more than just his stomach. It filled something inside him that had been empty for a long time. Later that evening, as Daniel walked back home, he couldn't stop thinking about the girl. The image of her sitting alone, waiting for her exhausted mother, stuck in his heart. The next day, instead of lying in bed drowning in self-pity, he went back to the park. She was there again with the same bag. This time, Daniel brought something too, a thermos of hot cocoa. When he handed it to her, her eyes lit up with the kind of joy that makes the world brighter, even on a rainy day. "See," she said with a giggle, "now we're both sharing." Days turned into weeks. Daniel found himself looking forward to those small moments. Slowly, he began helping the girl with her homework, and when her mother arrived late one evening, he finally met her. She looked worn out, her hands rough, from endless hours of work, but she thanked him with tears in her eyes for keeping her daughter company. Something shifted in Daniel's heart. Life still wasn't easy, his, and problems hadn't magically disappeared. But he no longer felt crushed under their weight, because now he wasn't just living for himself. One night after walking them both home, the mother pulled Daniel aside. "You know," she said softly, "I don't have much, but my daughter tells me how kind you are. You may think your life is falling apart, but to us, you've been a blessing." That single sentence hit him like lightning. In all his despair, he had forgotten that even broken people can be a source of light for others. He went home that night, and instead of staring at his shoes, he opened his laptop. The words began to flow, not about his failures, but about the little girl, about the unfairness of life, and how kindness makes it bearable. Weeks later, his story got published in a small online magazine. It wasn't fame, it wasn't fortune, but it was proof that even in struggle, beauty could grow. Daniel realized something profound. Life is unfair to everyone in some way, but what defines us is how we respond. The girl with the sandwich didn't wait for life to be fair before sharing what she had. She simply gave, and in her giving she reminded him of his own strength. So the next time you feel like life is unfair, remember this: somewhere out there, someone with less is still choosing to give, to smile, to keep going. And if they can, so can you. Your struggles don't make you weak. They carve out the space where strength and kindness can grow. Life may never be perfectly fair, but it can still be beautiful if you learn to find strength in every struggle.